Let's take a look at number 9, and as I said, then I'll give you some time to read. You shouldn't have any homework for today. So why doesn't the fossil record support Darwinian theory? Darwin knew that in his own lifetime, but he just assumed they would be found. Transitional fossils would be found, but they literally never happened. So why doesn't the fossil record support evolution question? Or in what ways doesn't it support? Right, so you would think that if animals, single cell amoeba appeared literally and then morphed into something different and then morphed into something different and at some point then there were animals, but then animals morphed into other animals. You would think if that were true, we would have all of these transitional forms within the fossil record. But we don't. And it's not just that there's a dearth of them. It's not just that there's a lack of them. They aren't there at all. Nowhere to be found. So that's one way that the fossil record doesn't support Darwin's theory. What's another way? Yes. Okay.
So without like the technology we have today, Charles Darwin couldn't see the problems
Right, and even beyond that, and even though we have that ability to see into the cellular level now, scientists will use hard tissue, they'll use skulls, they'll use bones to show a progression. What's wrong with that? Yes. Yeah, not even just most of the DNA, right? 99% of the DNA is in the soft tissue, which is long gone. So there's literally no way to make a biological connection between those different skulls. And we don't even know if they're human or human-like skulls, right? We can't know for sure. So they take that 1% of DNA that's in the bones and they construct an entire story of progression out of it. So fossilized remains, such as skulls, can't prove a biologic connection from one skull to another, from one fossilized remain. They can't do that. It cannot be done scientifically. So then the evidence just becomes anecdotal. It looks like a progression. But if I lined up for you all of my teaspoons from smallest to largest, and then all of my pans from smallest to largest, I could, or measuring cups, I could show you a progression. That doesn't mean that they turned into one another. It doesn't mean that it's just the commonality is what it's used for, right? You're going to hold it, you're going to pour something in. So there's no way to prove any sort of connection using fossilized remains. What else? What may appear to be a progression may just be maybe something completely different. Maybe a completely different creation, created being. So it can't, it isn't necessarily indicative of progression. just shows similarity, some similarity. That's all it can do. Any questions on any of that? Okay, so now if you would please open up your books to page 155, where we left off yesterday. And you're going to start with, is intelligent design an intelligent alternative? And then you're going to read up to on page 161, so why are there still Darwins? Okay, so 155 to 161. Once you've read that, I believe you're done for today, so you can rest, relax, and chat after that. 161. And you should have plenty of time to do that. By the way, you also have your study guides, so if you want to spend some time working on those, you're welcome to.